get a team of lawyers to write to the ICC to invite them to come to Kenya and make sure that the activities of that criminal gang sponsored by government is not allowed to take place.
His sentiments comes just days after former Mungiki leader Maina Njenga declared support for the Kenya Kwanza administration, rubbishing claims that President William Ruto had lost support in the vast Mount Kenya region and calling on residents to support the regime of the day. Gachagua, while addressing congregants in Tetu, Nyeri County, claimed that Maina Njenga is being used by the current regime to cause mayhem in the vast Mount Kenya region, noting that the move is politically instigated.
Government has been managing the economy. It has become unpopular. People have started saying no. The same gang leader ametafutwa na serikali na ameletwa hapa to force the people of this region to accept the president and his deputy. Wamekuja hapa 31st. Huyo kiongozi ametangaza mchana that amepewa kazi na serikali ya kuzunguka katika mlima Kenya to force the people to accept the president and his deputy and to escort the leaders ambayo wamekataliwa na watu wakuja mashinani. Sisi tunauliza president, tafadhali, hao watu ya area hii walikuchagua kwa upendo mwingi sana. Kama wanakukataa, ujaribu kujua ni kwa nini. Lakini usirudie ile moja alifanya, kutuma hicho kikundi kuja kuangaisha watu ya mlima Kenya.
The former DP also took issue with the National Police Service, claiming that instead of dealing with the gang, the NPS was aiding their existence. As much as abductions continue to take center stage, with a fresh wave of demonstrations scheduled for tomorrow, amid claims of the youth abducting themselves, the ousted DP slammed the government over its stance and turning a blind eye on the same.
We would like to ask our leaders, waheshimu wa Kenya. Kwa sababu Father Patrick, saa ile viongozi wanasimama kusema ati vijana wetu ndio wanajiteka nyara. Sasa mili imepatikana 3. Sasa wewe ulisema vijana wanajiteka nyara, unataka kutuambia ya kwamba hao vijana wamejiteka nyara, wamejiua na wamejitupa kwa mtaro? Ni makosa sana kubeba wa Kenya kama ni wajinga.
Now, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has now issued a stern warning to leaders who have been criticizing the government recently, stating that their administration would not sit back and allow the public to be influenced by falsehood and divisive rhetoric. During his address in Embu County, Kindiki, along with other leaders, assured that the government will soon restore order and stability, saying that measures are already underway to address the challenges inherited from the previous regime. Kindiki spoke while attending a church service in Embu County, hours after it was believed he would have joined the head of state in Italy for interdenominational prayers. Our reporter David Kagina has more.
Speaking during a Thanksgiving service at the Full Gospel Church in Kamumu, located in Mbeere North, Embu County, Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki joined other leaders in what was turned to a forum to address the ongoing tensions involving government and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In a subtle yet firm message to Gachagua, Kindiki emphasized the importance of leaders prioritizing national development and avoiding divisive statements that might incite the public.
Kama wewe uko na hasira zako na mambo ya visirani, usituletee visirani yako. Please, na tuheshimiane. I repeat, tuheshimiane. Mimi heshima zote nimekupatia, but you must also respect me. Kwa sababu mimi naona mahali tunaendelea kuna mahali tunataka kufika.
Kindiki dismissed critics who interpreted his silence as a sign of weakness or discord with President William Ruto, describing their efforts to discredit his leadership as futile. He maintained that his commitment to delivering results for Kenyans will speak louder than words.
There is a difference between leadership and populism. Those are two different things. Leadership ni kufanya majukumu kubwa, kuchukua kilio cha wananchi na kujaribu kutatua shida za wananchi, sio kutafuta makofi na kutafuta kupigia watu wengine makelele.
Kindiki also issued a strong warning that the government would no longer remain silent while the public is misled by falsehood and personal attacks. He further criticized those trying to undermine his leadership and sow discord within the government in what appeared to be a jab at his predecessor.
Kazi ya kupiga kelele ni kazi ya mtu ameshindwa. When you are unable to articulate yourself, you make noise. Isn't it? When you are unable to persuade other people, you make noise.
Various leaders present during the meeting expressed their unwavering support for Kindiki, praising his resilience and leadership. They further reaffirmed that the government is united and focused on its development agenda, while expressing their displeasure with Gachagwa's utterances.
Kama mimi nimetoka Mathira na ninafuata huyu Kithure Kindiki na Rais William Ruto, nyinyi mtaenda kutafuta watu wengine, mtafuta ya kina nani?
Sasa Kenya tuko na naibu rais mpya na anaitwa Profesa Kithure Kindiki. Yeye na rais yetu William Ruto watabadilisha hii Kenya yetu.
Sababu healing stage, mtu akiwa amepata shida iko na stages, kuna denial nini ndio ufika acceptance. So mwache aongee hizo mambo yote ndio imtoke.
Kindiki's visit to Embu County comes as a charm offensive to the region following recent incidents where the president was heckled during a visit of the region, and Public Service CS Justin Muturi unable to read President William Ruto's message of condolences during the burial of former Embu Senator Lenny Kivuti's son, owing to boos from the public. David Kagina, K24 TV.
Now, the abduction of government critics, mainly vocal youths on social media, has reignited Gen Z protest with another round set for tomorrow. The movement claims that despite last week's demonstrations, the abductees have not yet been released by the Kenya Kwanza regime. A section of leaders have also come out demanding that President William Ruto's administration comes out and declare how the families of the abducted will get justice. Now, these demonstrations come at a critical time as the schools reopen and KCSE results are about to be announced. Innocent Garo with the details.
Monday is Monday. The streets are calling again. The Gen Z have vowed to return with renewed anger and determination, pledging to block major roads.
We are peaceful! We are peaceful!
Their aim is to send a strong message against President William Ruto's administration, which they accuse of perpetuating youth abductions.
We are peaceful! We are peaceful!
Despite these protests erupting last Monday, the youth claim the government has ignored their demands, leaving families of the abducted without justice.
Siasa ikifanywa aje, vijana waheshimiwe. Hatuwezi kubali vijana wetu waanze kuchukuliwa, wanafichwa, watujua wanapelekwa wapi.
In recent weeks, several vocal critics of the Kenya Kwanza administration have been abducted by individuals believed to be security officers. Their whereabouts remain unknown.
Politics in Kenya today, it is killing young people and abducting young people. Sasa ndio waanze kutafuta umaarufu wa kisiasa.
However, their grievances have been dismissed. While attending the funeral of Mama Anne Wanyama Wetangula in Western Kenya, President William Ruto defended his regime stance, stating that his administration is determined to restore discipline among government critics, especially the youth whom he accused of moral decay through online posts.
Matusi kweli ni mengi huko kwa mitandao. Matusi ni mengi, wanatukana huyu, wanatukana yule, wanatukana mwingine. Hawa wanaotukana huyu leo, kesho watatukana askofu, kesho ingine watatukana wazazi wao, kesho ingine watatukana mwingine. We need as whole of society approach to make sure that we have a nation that is measured, that our democracy does not become chaotic.
The president allies have backed him, applauding his resolve and urging the government to curb what they describe as unrestricted criticism of the government.
Tunazo sheria tumepitisha na ni muhimu sheria zile zinolewe makali na zifanye kazi. You cannot get personal. You can criticize this government. You can criticize the policies of this government, but you cannot get personal. na ukifanya hivyo umepita mpaka na sheria lazima ikufuate.
They assert that those who break the law must be held accountable through legal means. Additionally, they allege that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya are playing key roles in the issue of abductions across the country.
Kiongozi wako wa siasa za ukabila aliyekuwa naibu wa rais, huyo ndiye mwenye kupanga mambo ya abductions ili awekelee huyu William Ruto. Tunawajua, tunawaona mchana, tutawatangaza mchana hadharani.
Meanwhile, leaders of the DAP-K party have strongly condemned recent remarks made by National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah against Governor George Natembeya, describing them as a diversionary tactic by the government to avoid answering questions about the abductions of the youth critical to the regime.
We are warning huyu Kimani Ichung'wah asijaribu kuleta hiyo ujinga ako nayo hapa Western Region. Yes. Kama viongozi, we are not going to sit back and watch mtu atoke nje kufanya matusi kwa Governor Natembeya.
Tunasikia huzuni sana. Mtu kama Waluke anapoongea atu watoto wetu wanakuwa adopted wenyewe. Sasa tunalia watoto wanauawa. Wengine wamama hatujui wako wapi, tunafunga mkanda usiku na mchana.
I did not expect that from a parent, a leader, worth his salt. So those ones, with Atwoli, I don't want to comment. You know, I think he's too old, and I think he's becoming, you know, when you pass a certain age, your faculties become compromised.
The controversy unfolds amid the ongoing back-to-school activities and the nation's anticipation of the release of national exam results for KPSEA and KCSE. Innocent Ogaro, K24, Nairobi.
Going by the sentiments of the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Jeffer Kingi, is that if someone contravenes the law, then he or she should face the law. One would wonder if abductions is a part of the law, regardless of who has abducted those 6 young boys. Now, calls to end abductions in Kenya are growing louder, with Catholic bishops condemning the rising cases of missing youths. The church has, to this end, urged the country's leadership to address the issue of abductions and provide answers to the public.
Debates around abductions and missing young men continue to intensify. The Catholic Church is now demanding government accountability. Speaking in Kericho County, Bishop Alfred Rotich of the Catholic Diocese of Kericho made an appeal, urging the government to show mercy and leniency.
I am not going to go into the depths because the government have the tools to research. And if there is a cry from whatever corner that there is a Kenyan, not only in abduction, but every Kenyan, a Kenyan citizen, the government ought to take care of that, to provide the dignity, to provide all the means possible to secure that life. The government has the right, has the what it takes to provide security to his own plan. I wish to appeal that they too have mercy.
Meanwhile, Bishop Joseph Mbati of Nyahururu also criticized the ongoing abductions, calling on political leaders to uphold the law and protect the lives of Kenyans.
Mtu akiwa kiongozi, kazi yake ni kuona ya kwamba has protected life. Human life is the key. Is very key that we must protect it. Lakini ukiachilia watu wauawe nini, na wewe ni kiongozi, haisemi juu ya anybody, lakini mimi nasema ukiachilia watu wauawe, wakufe, ukiangalia, where are we? Do we have leadership in this country?
The clergy further highlighted the myriad of challenges facing the country, blaming political leadership for fueling division through inflammatory remarks. They urged leaders to focus on unity and avoid divisive rhetoric.
Nadhani ya kwamba hata nchi hii yetu ya Kenya, wengi wamekufa kwa sababu ya uongozi. Wale ambao wako katika uongozi wafikirie jambo hili, kwa sababu hawakuwekwa kuwa viongozi ili waone watu wakifa, bali watumikie watu wapate maisha mazuri.
So far, 6 young men, Kibet Bull, Billy Mwangi, Ronnie Kiplagat, Stephen Mbisi, Stephen Tetei, and Bernard Kavuli remain missing. The abductions in December are suspected to be linked to the critical views of the government shared on social media. Eunice Omolo, K24 TV.
Well, that particular story by Eunice Omolo takes us to a fast breather. Then go away.
Follow the champions on the home of football. Watch the latest Man City content exclusively. Full match replays, extended highlights, coaches' interviews.
The target is not to win the Premier League, it's just, okay, next game, try to win it, this is what they have to do.
Players' interviews.
In general, the quality has been high and it's been good.
Behind the scenes and more. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. only on K24, the home of football.
Mozart Casino Jackpot. Zungusha gurudumu la furaha. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
This new year, say yes to a new world of entertainment on StarTimes. Enjoy the finest family entertainment on all your favorite channels. Recharge your subscription for 2 months and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet for 2 months. Kick off the new school year with a world full of adventures on our kiddie channels.
Awesome, that's amazing!
The excitement of sports action in the Carabao Cup, Bundesliga and La Liga. Who will be the new champion?
Pressure coming down! Oh, it's magnificent!
Edge of the seat action on our blockbuster movies. Fresh heart-stopping premium telenovelas. Recharge your subscription for 2 months and get upgraded to the next higher bouquet for 2 months. Download the StarTimes On app to enjoy unlimited entertainment anytime, anywhere. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Na raundi hii January tuna survive na maringos, manjoti, mabike, mapopcorns. Odibets app, very nice. Very nice.
Skuman January na Odibets. Wekelea kwa Odibets app upate za kupiga January. Odibets, very nice.
Thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with the bulletin, and IEBC senior employee Aisha Abubakar is dead. Aisha was hacked by a machete welding gang in her home in Utange area of Kisauni constituency. Frederick Kai tells us more.
Managed to get access to Aisha Abubakar's home after jumping off 2 perimeters wall before cutting a window grill which gave them access into the house, where they killed her and injured her son, who had come to her rescue.
Wameruka kuta mbili, wameruka main gate, wakaingia kwa gate ya pili ambayo ni ya mama na kuna askari ndani Masai. So vipi, tumeshangaa kuwa wale wamefika paka kwa mama, wakakata grill ya dining, wakaingia ndani ya nyumba na wakafanya uhalifu ule umeufanya.
Speaking at the Premier Hospital where the late Aisha Abubakar's body was taken, Hassan Abubakar Hassan was clearly saddened by the loss of his mother.
Whatever has happened is unbelievable. My mom was attacked kwake nyumbani, Utange, and the way it's vile inaonekana, these guys just wanted kumaliza mamangu, which they have achieved. So
Hassan, together with other family members, have been left perturbed by the incident, noting that the deceased shows no sign of being targeted whatsoever. However, they want the government to unearth the reason behind the attack and bring to book the killers.
Serikali ifanye bidii, hawa wahalifu wasimalize wa Kenya kiholela namna ile. Watafutwe vilivyo, lakini paka wapatikane. Wamemtoa mama uhai. We don't know why.
Tuomba serikali ifanye bidii, wahalifu walofanya kitendo hichi wapatikane as a family, kwa sababu ni kitendo cha kusikitisha na kimefanyika Yani, it's very sad.
The robbers only stole a TV, mobile phone and IBC material which was stuffed in a bag.
Wamechukua vitu kidogo sana kwa nyumba. Wamechukua TV na kuna mkoba wa IBC. Wamerarua, wamechukua vitu zile zenye ziko pale ndani, wakawacha ile mkoba pale chini. Hawakuchukua tena kitu kingine zaidi.
Mombasa County Police Commander Peter Kimani says preliminary investigations show the two robbers were targeting the deceased, but more information will be revealed once the police are done with the investigation. He has since assured the family that no stone will be left unturned until those involved in the murder are brought to book. Frederick KK24, Mombasa.
Now, Kenha has reopened a section of the closed Southern Bypass section after completion of construction works aimed at rehabilitating expansion joints of all the bridges along the affected section. The three bridges where the expansion joints have been placed are at Ole Sereni, the Kibra Overpass and the Ngong Road interchange. Kenha says the rehabilitation will also pave the way for the reconstruction of concrete pavement of the virtual way bridge. Expansion joints allow for the expansion and contraction of the bridge due to environmental factors such as temperature and enable the structure to respond appropriately to the impact of traffic.
We are reopening the Southern Bypass, having successfully replaced the expansion joints of the bridges 4 number across the road. And like we explained last time, we decided to go for the finger joint kind of expansion joints, which have a longer lifetime. And now I can confirm that the bridge, as you've seen, will last its lifespan, which normally ranges up to between 50 and 100 years. And now there's no any danger for the users of the Southern Bypass, which attracts approximately about 25,000 or so motorists every other day, and that now vehicles can move freely and comfortably. However, as we come back to the new year after the festivities, we want to encourage Kenyans to observe road signages. Do not speed to impress, because that again endangers not only the life of the driver.
Now, in Nairobi's informal settlements, education remains a daily battle for thousands of children. Now, while free primary education was meant to bridge the gaps of overcrowded public schools, long commutes and safety concerns push many parents to make difficult choices. With limited options, some turn to low-cost private schools, but question on quality persists. Now, a proposed school busing system is offering a glimmer of hope, but funding challenges remain. Harriet Shimea tells us more.
In the heart of Nairobi's informal settlements, education remains an uphill struggle for many children. Despite efforts to make education accessible, barriers such as distance, safety and affordability continue to stand in the way of a brighter future for thousands of young learners. Approximately 47% of school-going children in informal settlements attend non-government schools, with the highest proportions of non-government school attendance in Nairobi being 63%. While free primary education is promised by the government, the reality in public schools is different. And even more worrying is that public schools are overcrowded and fewer in slum areas where 56% of Kenyans reside.
Now, government schools are not in good supply, let me put it that way. For example, let me take an informal settlement like Korogocho, all right? With the school population, school going age of about 10,000. It has only 2 government schools that I would say they are at a reasonable distance where the children can walk to comfortably, safely, in good time. But the classrooms, the class size is 70. So I ask myself, when exactly will the teacher interact, mentor, support my child?
Maybe you are living in Kawangware. Kawangware is approximately 3,000 people and approximately 100 or 120,000 students who are supposed to go to school. We have only 3 schools, that is Kawangware, Muslim and Gatina. So, and those schools can carry a capacity of maybe 1,000, 2,000. So the rest, they are either in private schools or they are in these other provision called ABET schools, informal schools.
With public schools being few and far between, many children from these areas are forced to take dangerous routes in search of knowledge. The lack of street lights and narrow roads only add to the risks they face daily.
What you'd find as 1 kilometer in a rural area where I'm only going through a road, through trees, something like that. In the informal settlements, I'm negotiating the houses that are overcrowded. I have to jump over the seawalls, etc. So you can see the security concerns in there, and you can see what it means even if the school is like 200 meters, 300 meters.
Many parents, like Rose Mwangi, have no choice but to send their children on unsafe transportation options like border borders. Rose says she makes the tremendous sacrifices to take her children to public schools for better education. She laments that although low-cost private schools are near, the quality of education is poor.
Mtoto wangu hakuwa anajua hata China kuandika. Hakuna Kenya alikuwa anajua. Lakini hapa ulikuwa unaona tiki na tikiwa vizuri. Mimi hata umwaki hakuwa anapewa ile ngumu yenye ya hiyo class, anapewa yani ile soft.
Rose's children now attend a public school where they are doing better, although she still bears the cost of 300 shillings in tuition fees and 1,100 shillings as lunch money every term.
Yao ni biashara.
She also emphasizes that the cost of transport is still a daily concern, with safety, especially for young girls, a constant worry.
Namleta na ambao jioni, tukatafuta na watu watatu. Sasa mimi nalipa 40. Nimebaki na miezi 2 ya huyo mtu wa boda. Lakini anasemanga at least huyu mtoto.
Wameamua kukomboa pikipiki, wanabeba watoto kama 5. Na hiyo watoto 5 kwa pikipiki inakuwa sio kitu mzuri kwa watoto, sababu wengine wanaweza anguka chini, wengine wanaweza pata accident. Haya, hizi matatu za barabara pia wakati mwingine kama hii rush hour inakuwa vigumu, sababu mtoto kucross barabara, hizi barabara zetu hazina cross lines za watoto, inakuwa shida, sababu akitumia barabara ni lazima atavuka ile side nyingine, na ni lazima avuke hii side nyingine, ndio sababu shule iko hii side nyingine. Sasa kwa watoto hakuna hizo zebra crossing za watoto ama traffic ya kucrossia watoto. Hasa inakuwa very challengeful kwa wazazi wetu, sababu tuko mbali.
It is a worry that Susan Kasiala, mother of 5, shares. She says some days the children have to trek because she cannot afford transport.
Sasa hiyo wanang'ang'ananga nipate tu fare at least wapande kuenda alafu kurudi wakuje mguu. Toka hapo wanatoka anga 5 that wafike 6 that shule. Wakienda na gari hivyo tu. Sasa zingine gari unajua inapata jamu kwa barabara ama wanafingia kama watu wacha inabidi wakae. Lakini kufika sana inafaa ufike 6 shule. Wanachukuanga muda. Tu ni mbali.
Anthony Mbugu Ndungu, a parent, also made the difficult decision to transfer his children from low-cost private schools to public ones, hoping for better education.
Private school iko na tatizo sababu unakuta mtoto unaandikiwa vile ameperform, na pengine sio vile ameperform. Ndio wale saa nyingine wanaangalia pesa, wanakuonyesha mtoto wako vile ako sawa, na akirudi aende kwa public school inakuwa ni tatizo.
But the long distances and overcrowded classrooms are a constant challenge.
Ni challenge. Mtoto wa PP2 masaa yake ya kutoka, akishatoka kama saa 7 inabidi anangojea wa junior secondary mpaka saa 11 ndio watoke pamoja ndio amlete baka hapa.
To counter the challenges that these parents face, a proposal for a school busing system was fronted at the Nairobi County Government, a system that could provide a lifeline for many children, ensuring they have safe, reliable access to education. However, the challenge of funding remains a hurdle.
It is very, very important that we need to go further and draft something like a bill, and then we see if it can pass in the county assembly, so that it becomes an act. Now it becomes a law. So we are in the process.
Over 63% of Nairobi primary school kids attend low-cost private schools in informal settlements, not by choice but by necessity. With fewer public schools in informal settlements, the challenges of cost and distance remain. Advocates argue that free school transportation is the key to bridging the gap and offering these children quality education. Harriet Chimea, K24 TV, Viwandani, Nairobi County.
Angukia welcome bonus only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets under free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozartbet.
Asante kwa kunipigia simu. Simu yako nitaipokea kwa muda usiokuwa mrefu. Je, unajua kuwa wimbo wa taifa wa Kenya ulitokana na wimbo wa Kipokomo, mojawapo ya kabila za pwani nchini Kenya? Wimbo rasmi ulitungwa na Thomas Johnson Kalume.
Ili kuset asante kwa kunipigia kama skiza tune yako, dial *811*622#.
Na raundi hii January tuna survive na maringos, manjoti, mabai, mapopcorns. Odibets app, very nice, very nice.
Skuma January na Odibets. Wekelea kwa Odibets app upate za kupiga January. Odibets, very nice.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. We continue with the bulletin now, and allies of President William Ruto are now accusing Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya of working together with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to destabilize the government. Now speaking at an interdenominational prayers in Tot, Kerio Valley, Elgeyo Marakwet County, the leaders want Kenyans to give President Ruto time to deliver, even as they assured the head of state of a second term in office. However, sentiments from TRT Member of Parliament William Kamket warning critics to be careful have raised eyebrows as he alluded to an extension of the presidential term limits. The leaders further blamed a lack of discipline on the recent wave of social media criticism by the youths. Martin Opio with more.
Kerio Valley in Elgeyo Marakwet. President William Ruto and his allies joined faithfuls for an interdenominational service. The service turned into another former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua attack, but enjoining Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, who criticized the government over rising abduction spree. Government allies are maintaining that Natembeya and Gachagua are working together to destabilize the country.
Kuna wakora ambaye wanasumbua serikali, ambao walikuwa kwenye serikali iliyopita, ambao wanaongozwa na former Deputy President na pamoja na mwenye alikuwa RC, sasa sijui ni governor ya wapi. Kama kuna watu, Your Excellency, ambaye waliua watu, ambao walifanya program ya kumaliza watu, na ambao walikuwa naongozwa na huyu Natembeya, governor ya pande ile, na ndio kiongozi wao ni former Deputy President mwenye alikuwa anapanga kupindua serikali. Sasa hiyo group, wacha niwaambie, we have no time for you.
Abduction isile nilisikia huyo governor Natembeya akiongea jana, bado siku moja wasee hawa Council of Elders tutaita huyo Natembeya arudi hapa atuambie MCA Kiptire na Minito nani aliwaua.
TRT Member of Parliament William Kamket raised eyebrows with his defense to the president when he alluded that President William Ruto is here to stay despite the criticism. saying that just like Moi's 24-year rule, Rift Valley can decide to extend the president's term limit past the constitutionally allowed 10 years.
Na wakicheza, rais, unajua mimi natoka kaunti ya 24. Kaunti ya Baringo, sisi ndio tunajua mambo ya 24 years. Sisi ndio tunajua kwamba manufacture rais akae 24. So wakicheza, hata tunasambia wewe rais endelea kidogo. Kwani iko nini?
However, the president shied away from commenting on the matter, but his opinion was shut down by Kapseret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi.
Mwingine anasema sijui nini hapo. Mai kuona inji yenye mtu anaenda tamu moja. Hakuna hiyo.
Ile siasa duni ya ukabila na chuki na kugawanya watu, tumepata ushindi mkubwa dhidi ya hizo changamoto za siasa short-sighted.
Sudi, just like the rest of those in attendance, blamed the rise in abductions on lack of discipline, urging parents to take up the role of teaching morals to their kids.
Ile maneno kwa mtandao siku hizi ukiona, halafu mtu mmoja watu wanasimama, watu wachache hapo, rais anafanya hii, maneno abduction, maneno nini. Unajua rais pia umenikosea kidogo. Ile siku nyingine ulitangaza waziri, nilikuwa nafikiri unasema Kipchumba Sudi. Kumbe akakuwa Kipchumba Murkomen. Tena juzi nimesikia tena nilikuwa nategea ukasema tena Kipchumba Murkomen. Sasa wangenipatia hiyo docket hiyo ya usalama siku 3 peke yake. Hiyo watoto na ujinga hiyo ya kuchora vitu kwa maneno itaisha. Kwa sababu lazima tu hakuna inji inaongozwa na upuzi. Lazima inji yote inaongozwa na katiba na heshima. Si ni kweli? Yeah. Na mtu asikutisha rais. Unajua mimi nasikia mimi naona yule mtu tulivuguza baada anaongea hapo. Mwingine anasema sijui nini hapo. Mai kuona inji yenye mtu anaenda tamu moja. Hakuna hiyo. Wataruka juu chini. Lakini mambo itakuwa sawa.
Tunapotusiwa sisi kama wamama kwa sababu haistahili hivyo. Kwa hivyo nataka niseme leo hapa ya kwamba kila mzazi awajibike kwa nidhamu ya mtoto wake.
The church was not spared, as the clergy that has been critical of the government was termed as a cartel-led clergy.
Minyi ndugu zangu viongozi wa makanisa kote nchini ambayo tunasikiza na kufurahia amani hapa, tusiwe wenye kuchochea uhasama, inchi irudi kwenye mtaro ambaye hatuna uwezo wa kurudisha.
Mimi nataka niombe rais. Sisi wote ni binadamu. Tunakosea, si ni kweli? Nilikuwa naona bishops wetu wakisoma ile kusema wakora sijui nini. Lakini nikuambia rais, maajabu. Hao wananchi ndio wanajua, kwa sababu hao ndio wanatoa pesa kwa harambee. Wanajua uzito ya kanisa. Hao fathers wadogo hawana issue. Hao wale bishop wachache pale juu ni cartels.
But the president insists that since the formation of the broad-based government and the ouster of his former DP, the country has seen tremendous growth economically, as peace and unity have been the order of the day.
Wengine pale nyuma tulikuwa tunanyosheana vidole. Ni huyu, ni yule, ni huyo mwingine. Lakini wakati viongozi walishikamana na tukakubaliana hii amani ni ya muhimu kwetu sisi zote, mbali na mahali ama sehemu tunawakilisha, peace is the greatest ingredient for any meaningful development in any constituency or county or ward.
They now want Kenyans to give the president time to deliver without distractions.
Sisi tunajua where we are coming from as a country under your leadership, and we know where we are. Similarly, we know where we are going to. Na kwa hivyo mambo ya siasa, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nataka kuomba hawa watu ambao wanatisha kila wakati ya kwamba waache vitisho baridi. Mheshimiwa Rais, wakati wa siasa ukifika, tutamenyana vilivyo, Mheshimiwa Rais, chini yako Mheshimiwa. Kwa hivyo mambo ya kucheza kabla ya mchezo wa kwanza waache. They may dance themselves lame before the real dance begins.
Wale ambao wanamkejeli, wanamchekelea rais, wanamdhalilisha, mimi nawaambia kama tu vile hapa Kerio Valley, baada ya muda matokeo na matunda ya kazi nzuri ambayo amefanya imetokea, nina imani kwamba katika taifa letu la Kenya mambo mazuri yatazidi kutokea kulingana na uongozi ambao rais wetu anaendelea kufanya. Asante rais, kwa sababu wewe hukutapatapa. Ungekuwa ni mtu muoga, pengine ungestuliwa na kuacha ile mpango mzuri ambao ulikuwa naye.
Ahadi ya serikali chini ya uongozi wako Mheshimiwa Rais haiwezi ikawekwa ile tunaita lebo ya kuwa ni uongo. How? Bado miaka 5 haijaisha ambao umepewa na wananchi hawa. Siishi alafu tujue kama ilikuwa ni uongo au ilikuwa ni kweli.
Martin Opio, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, to hear leaders talk about 24 years, others talking about the president ruling for 2 terms in a country that the law says a president can run the country for 5 years and then seek re-election is quite alarming amid the recent spate of abductions here in the country. Let's move on with the bulletin now, and the delay in the disbursement of equitable share to counties grounded operations and service delivery in devolved units for the better part of 2024, which caused significant interruptions in service delivery, halted development projects and strained relationships between the National Assembly and the county governments. The formula in place, dubbed the third basis model for sharing revenue, has largely been blamed for the disparities in a move aimed at curbing the challenges. The Commission of Revenue Allocation, CRA, has submitted the recommendation on the fourth basis for revenue sharing among county governments to the Senate, the National Assembly, the National Executive and counties. Lida Koske with that report.
In May 2024, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, concluded a series of consultations with county governments as part of its journey to establish the next basis for equitable revenue sharing among county governments.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this historic moment for the Third Commission on Revenue Allocation.
CRA has finally submitted its recommendations.
The Commission has taken into consideration information on the review of the previous revenue sharing basis, views of stakeholders, international best practices, and the criteria in Article 2 or 3, Sub-Article 1 into account.
Unlike the fourth basis, the third basis for sharing revenue considered 8 parameters, that is on basic share, which allocated 20%, population 18%, health 17%, poverty level 14%, agriculture getting a share of 10%, roads at 8%, land 8%, and urban 5%. The fourth basis, however, recommends 2 objectives for the parameters, mainly based on service delivery, pegged on population to acquire 42%, equitable share 22%, geographical size at 9%. The second objective is to share revenue equitably to address economic disparities and promote development, which has been subdivided into 2 parameters, poverty at 14% and through income distance at 13%.
To facilitate service delivery, the recommendation provides for an equal minimum allocation across all counties, using population and geographical size of a county as the key transfer parameters. To address economic disparities and promote development, the framework uses income distance and poverty parameters as measures of inequality among county governments.
During the consultation period, different counties had submitted different recommendations that were missing in the fourth basis. For instance, Machakos County had raised concerns over lack of water as one of the parameters. However, according to CRA, the recommendations made are adequate to administer equitable share. Meanwhile, counties have consistently failed to meet their revenue targets since the start of devolution in 2013, with systems that abate a theft of losses running into billions.
The current basis is the third basis, which was determined by Parliament in September 2020. This basis has been used to share revenues for 5 financial years. Therefore, a new basis, the fourth basis for revenue sharing among county governments, should be determined by Parliament to share among county governments from the financial year 2025-2026 going forward.
The CRA chair noted that most of the counties have been operating below their potential in the collection of their own source revenues. In developing the fourth basis framework, the Commission shifted from functional approach of the third basis to use of expenditure proxies.
Stability in revenue sharing is important to ensure county governments and projects continue without disruption that may be occasioned by sudden budget cuts arising from change of the revenue sharing framework.
The shift, according to CRA, was informed by actual expenditures of county governments, availability, credibility, and statistical soundness of data, and the need to ensure that the revenue sharing among county governments remains stable and predictable in the midterm. Linda Koskei, K24 TV.
Now on that note, we take a brief breather. We'll be back with what is happening in the world of sports.
Follow the champions on the home of football. Watch the latest Man City content exclusively. Full match replays, extended highlights, coaches' interviews.
The target is not to win the Premier League, it's just, okay, next game, try to win it, this is what they have to do.
Players' interviews.
In general, the quality has been high and it's been good.
Behind the scenes and more. Every Saturday at 1 p.m. only on K24, the home of football.
People Daily, Kenya's trusted newspaper, is making history as the first daily to go fully digital. By transitioning from print to the PD News app, we are delivering the same exceptional journalism you've relied on for years in a completely new way to experience it. It's news for today and the future. No paper, no waste. Just real-time updates and customizable stories. This is a leap towards innovation, sustainability, and a better experience for you, our reader. Download the PD app now on Play Store and App Store. People Daily. News that moves with you.
Mozart Casino Jackpot. Zungusha gurudumu la furaha. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
K24 Sports News, powered by Mozart Bet.
Angukia welcome bonus. Only on Mozart. Karibishwa kama mgeni. Register now on mozartbet.co.ke to angukia free bets under free spins bonanza. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
Now time to get sporty, and the Kenya men's football team Harambee Stars kicked off their 2025 Mapinduzi Cup campaign with a 1-1 draw against Burkina Faso in the opening match played on Saturday night at the Gombeni Stadium in Zanzibar. James Kinyanjui put Kenya in front in the 46th minute through a well-taken free kick by Boniface Mushiri. However, with the 2 minutes to time, Burkina Faso capitalized on a momentary lapse in the Kenya's backline with Abubakar Traore netting an equalizer in the 89th minute, sealing the full-time score of 1-1. Harambee Stars now shift their focus to their second tournament match against host country Tanzania, scheduled for Tuesday, January 7th.
Gharimu Burkina Faso na kuwapa nafasi Kenya ya kuandika goli la kuongoza. Afanye nini zaidi ya kunywa maji? Mohamed Traore. Ilikuwa nzito sana, ilikuwa kali mno, ilikuwa ya moto, hakuweza kumeza. Kutema ndio kitu alichofanya. Nafasi nzuri na anaandika bao la kusawazisha Burkina Faso. Yule ambaye aliwajaribu mara kadhaa Abubakar Traore ndio ambaye anakwenda kuiondoa Kenya katika njia ya kuzielekea alama 3. Abubakar Traore. Walijisahau Kenya wakadhani shughuli imemalizika, lakini Burkina Faso wakawakumbusha kwamba wametoka mbali kwa ajili ya kuyafuata mashindano haya ya Kombe la Mapinduzi. Angalia ilivyokuwa. Iliwekwa cross, walinzi wakajisahau na akaenda kugaragara na kupiga kichwa kile cha kuruka. Abubakar Traore. Walikuwa wapi walinzi wa Kenya? Wapi alikuwa Brian Okot?
Now, the first round of the 3-day NCBA Kenya Invitational 2025 kicked off on Saturday at the Windsor Golf Club and Country Club. The on-form Stashwat Harish, playing in the boys 13-14 category, returned the best score over 2 under par 70 holes, while James Tino Makiage played 3 under par 33 over 9 holes. The tournament has seen participation of 116 players from 10 nations entered its second round today. The tournament has been organized by Junior Golf Foundation in Kenya in collaboration with the US Kids Golf and sponsored by the NCBA Bronx.
So today we have had the first official competition day, and the round was incredibly competitive. We've seen extremely close scores by all the age group categories. We have had some very good scores. We're seeing some kids shooting as low as 2 under par gross.
We have a number of Ugandans, way over 15 players, 16 players to be exact, that have been participating in the US Kids NCBA series. And this time around, we happened to come around and test this beautiful course at Windsor, so that the juniors can display their talent in golf.
This is a fantastic opportunity for us to participate in the NCBA Kenya Invitational. This tournament brings the best of junior golf in the region together to play and measure their skills. US Kids Golf Uganda started about 18 months ago, and following by the lead of Kenyan Golf, this is a fantastic measure for us to see the level of golf that has been progressing.
To the Italian Serie A, and Napoli went 3 points clear at the top of the Serie A standings after thrashing Fiorentina 3-0 in the Serie A match played at the Artemi Franchi Stadium. Napoli was set rolling by David Naras in the 22nd minute before Romelu Lukaku added the second goal in the 54th minute through a penalty. Scott McTominay added the icing on the cake with a third goal in the 68th minute as Napoli marched victorious away. Napoli now leads Serie A with 44 points, 3 points above second-placed Atalanta. Inter Milan are third.
Individual brilliance from David Neres. Sotil does get the cross away towards Ken. Ken pivots and Ken fires home. I don't think the goal's been given. The ball did hit Moise Ken's hand, so this isn't going to count. Anguissa, Moreno. Anguissa's won it back and he was taken down by Matias Moreno. He's been almost faultless in this game, but he's conceded a penalty on debut here. It's Lukaku, and it's calmly slotted past David De Gea. He missed against Venezia, but he immediately corrects his aim in this game against Fiorentina. Anguissa's cross, it falls to McTominay. Super Scott on target again for Napoli. His 4th in the league this season. As Sotil finds a bit of space, can he fire? He can!
That was a typical or trademark Scott McTominay. They call him Scott McTerminator in Italy. Now LeBron James passed Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games in NBA history as he helped the Los Angeles Lakers to a 119-102 victory over the Atlanta Hawks. The 40-year-old, the league's all-time leading scorer, scored 30 points to achieve the feat for the 563rd time and passed the mark set by Jordan in 2003. He also moved into fourth in the most number of games played in the NBA on 1,523, one more than Dirk Nowitzki. He now trails only Robert Parrish, who has played 1,611. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was played 1,560, and Vince Carter was played 1,541 games for most career games. Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls in the 1990s, becoming a global icon of the sport.
That's why he leads just about everybody in field goal percentage, because he knows his limitations. LeBron spinning in the lane, that's a difficult shot. Wow, how about that by LBJ?
Yeah, that one was not easy at all.
Trying to create some contact that time.